Howdy folks, Richard Edmonds here from Windows Phone Central, and today we're going to be looking at the Samsung ATIV S Windows Phone 8 smartphone. This device is currently launching in a number of markets. It was originally announced back at IFA in Berlin last year, but it has been delayed numerous times and it has almost become a legend, if you will. We have given Samsung some flack in the past, and they do deserve some degree of it. We will hold to that. But we do like Samsung hardware. We've never said that we dislike their phones. They do create some very nice hardware indeed, and we wouldn't like them to throw in the towel with Windows Phone. The ecosystem is more healthy with more manufacturers competing against one and each other to provide more choice to the consumer, and what a choice this is. The ATIV S is definitely a premium phone. Looks wise, you've got the chrome on the sides and the hairline metallic finish on the back. And it's a very nice change, if you will, from the paths that HTC and Nokia going down with the colour variants of. It's a very nice breath of fresh air. So with the 8S, you've got the 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon, which is a familiar sight. You've got 4.8 inch Super AMOLED display. You've got 16 or 32 GB variants of the ATIV S, which are available, both sporting SD support, which is a nice add-on to the experience to have a nice amount of internal storage, as well as the optional add-on storage for your media, whether it be photos or music. You've got the 1 GB of RAM, which is obviously a standard for high-end devices, with 512 being for the low-end and mid-range hardware. What's more interesting enough is it does pack a 2300 mAh battery, which does last quite long. We've done a test yesterday where we fired through a number of apps and games, and I believe I only charged it last night fully, and it's only halfway through, and today we hit it hard as well, so that's lasted quite nicely. As well as the overall hardware features of the device, you have NFC for connectivity, as well as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. As far as we believe, there's no LTE on the ATIV S. The maximum is HSPA+, but that shouldn't be a problem, especially if in the UK we don't quite have 4G coverage as of yet. Now the Samsung ATIV S does power through apps and games nicely. As with the 1.5 dual-core CPU, you're going to expect that. There's no sluggish experience or anything similar. It's all buttery smooth, as you expect from Windows Phone. As well as reading out the specification sheet to you, we can also have a quick tour of the device. So at the front we have the front-facing camera with the 4.8 inch display. On the left-hand side we have the volume rocker and nothing else. On the top we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right of the device we have the power button and shutter button for the camera. On the bottom we have the micro USB port centralized, and on the back we have the 8-megapixel camera with flash. As you might tell just there is a pack plate to the ATIV S, which can come off quite nicely with a little groove just there to pull your nail under, and it comes off nicely to reveal the massive battery, SIM card slot and SD card slot, which as I mentioned just now is a very nice addition to a premium Windows Phone, with the 8X and 920 both missing SD card expansion. Just click that on successfully, evidently not. It isn't a tricky case to put on unless you're me. So, going back to the experience of Windows Phone itself, Samsung also packs a number of settings, additional settings on top of what's already available on the vanilla installation of Windows Phone, including advanced text messages to enable CB message reception. Just went into that one. Call blocking, which is a requested feature by many. Contacts import. You can import your contacts from previous devices via Bluetooth. APN settings, and additional call settings, including call forwarding and waiting. So as far as apps and games go, with performance-wise, you're not going to get any sluggish performance with the ATIV. We've used a few apps and hardcore games on it, and it runs them all perfectly fine with no issues. If we quickly hop into Boom Brigade 2 by 10 tons, the massive display does help things as well, especially with the colour and contrast. It's very nice. I can see no issues. Although this isn't an extremely demanding game, we haven't had any problems running Asphalt 7 or the likes of that. So if we quickly escape that now. So speaking of apps, Samsung does pack a number of OEM apps in the Samsung Zone. Now, not all of them are as feature rich as one would hope, and they don't come close to what Nokia offers, but they're there. And that's the main thing. Samsung does offer some functionality beyond what's in the operating system and on the store. So if we quickly run through each one, so you've got the Now, which is the Tile Daily Information app, which can provide you with weather, stocks, news and top tweets, information and other details. Just keeps you up to date on the daily basis. You've got Chat On, which is the global communication service for Samsung handsets. Photo Editor, which, as it says on the tin, post-capture editing and effects. The Music Hub, which makes use of the 7 digital store. You have the Mini Diary, moving on, which is basically a journal. Live Wallpaper, that's quite interesting, which enables you to create slideshows from photos and whatnot. Beauty, which is a humorous app we covered on the site, which we originally didn't know what it did, but now we know it sort of makes people look less ugly in photos, which is always nice to have. Still don't really know why that's there, but if you want to make yourself look prettier in photos, by all means go for it. The RSS Times is a Google Reader app. It's actually quite nice, we'll put that out there, but not as feature rich as some of the third-party offerings on the store, which is always the case with most OEM apps. There's always a third-party offering that can be more feature rich. And lastly we have Photogram, which think Instagram, add effects and then share the photos with social networks, and then you have all the dictionaries after that, which are quite handy. So there is a collection, we'll give them that. They have put time and effort into it, but of course it doesn't match Nokia. But luckily you of course do have the store and all the apps on there, as well as having access to Nokia Drive, thanks to, or Here Drive should I say, thanks to Nokia releasing that for all phones. So that, there is that. And of course they're not a deal breaker. If you really are into Nokia apps, then by all means go for a Lumia, but if you don't make use of them all the time and you'd like a different experience, the ATIV S is definitely up your street. Now, using device over the last few days, as well as a review I had previously, apologies for the late review, call quality is good, as well as the gaming and overall app experience, and using the phone is absolutely normal, as you'd expect from a Windows phone. Everything runs smoothly. The one thing I do really like about the ATIV S is the added SD storage, just to give you that added punch when you want to install the big ass games, which we're surely going to see increase in size as time develops and the more game engines pop onto the Windows Phone ecosystem. The ATIV S is a premium smartphone at a premium price. The price has been dropping in a number of markets, which is probably due to a shortage in demand. Thanks Samsung with your incredible marketing techniques. It is a nice device. We'll not give any flack to Samsung for the ATIV S. It is a very nice device. Not everyone's going to like the aesthetics or agree that it doesn't look cheap or feel cheap, but we do like it. We've used it for quite some time. If you're looking for something that's not a Lumia or not a HTC handset, then Samsung's definitely the way to go, and you're not going to be missing out on anything. It's a high-end device and it runs Windows Phone 8 as you'd expect. So you can read up for more information on our website in the ATIV S review on wpcentral.com, as well as some more footage taken on the ATIV S, as well as some shots to test out the camera capabilities. So thank you very much for watching. Take care.